Okay, let's talk about Kazakhstan. Wait, before you click away, hear me out. This country, which most people associate with vast deserts, oil, and Borat jokes, is quietly pulling off one of the most fascinating economic transformations on the planet. $13 billion in service exports? A digital sector booming at 35% growth? A national AI center? What's going on here? Let me break this down. First, the obvious: Kazakhstan's always been a transit hub. It's literally the size of Western Europe and sits between China, Russia, and Europe. So yeah, moving freight is their bread and butter. 44% of service exports come from transport. But here's the twist: while logistics are still king, the real story is happening in sectors like computer services, which just smashed the $1 billion mark. That's not just a number, it's a strategic pivot. President Tokayev set this target in 2023, and they hit it early. So why does this matter? Because it's a signal. Kazakhstan isn't trying to be a pipeline for goods anymore. They're betting on exporting brains, not trucks. But let's get real for a second. How do you shift from oil to code overnight? You don't. This isn't some overnight miracle. Astana Hub, a tech park with 1,700 companies, is the engine here. They're shipping IT services to 111 countries. That's wild. But here's what fascinates me: 90% of this growth is centered in Astana. Is that a strength or a vulnerability? On one hand, it shows how a focused ecosystem can ignite innovation. On the other, what happens if Astana's tech scene hits a snag? Diversification is supposed to reduce risk, but Kazakhstan's playing a high-stakes game by concentrating so much power in one city. Now, zoom out. This isn't just about Kazakhstan. The WTO and OECD keep hammering on about how services now drive 2/3 of global GDP. The future isn't stuff you can touch, it's software, data, and expertise. Kazakhstan's move mirrors what's happening in places like Estonia or Vietnam. But here's the kicker: Kazakhstan's doing this while still being a petrostate. That duality is fascinating. It's like watching a country try to build a Tesla factory in the middle of an oil rig. Will the tech sector thrive, or will it get swallowed by the resource curse? And let's not ignore the elephant in the room: logistics. The EDB is screaming about warehouse space. They need $1.5 billion in investment for 2 million square meters. Why? Because even in a digital age, physical stuff still matters. Kazakhstan's playing a double game, modernizing its transit infrastructure while betting on digital exports. But can both coexist? Or is this a case of trying to have your cake and eat it too? Here's my take: Kazakhstan's story isn't perfect. The over-reliance on Astana's tech scene is risky. The fact that digital assets like crypto mining still account for 1/3 of computer exports? That's a red flag. Volatile industries aren't a solid foundation. But what they're attempting is bold. They're trying to rewire their entire economic identity. And if they pull it off, even partially, they'll become a blueprint for other resource-dependent nations. So what's next? The stats show the service trade deficit is shrinking. Exports are outpacing imports. That's a win. But the real test is whether they can spread this tech boom beyond the capital. Imagine if Shymkent or Almaty had their own Silicon Valleys. Then we'd be talking about a true revolution. Until then, Kazakhstan's this weird, exciting hybrid, half-transit state, half-tech frontier. And honestly, that tension is what makes it so compelling to watch.